Hello everyone. Now I've been sharing with you the teachings of Ajahn Brahm based on his book Opening Up to Kindfulness. The Buddha taught about the three characteristics that is found in all compounded existence, and they are anicca, which is impermanence, dukkha, suffering, and anatta, non-self. When we understand these three characteristics, it helps us to see reality more clearly, helps us to reduce our attachments and expectations. Expectations get us into a lot of trouble. It encourages us to find peace and happiness that doesn't depend on impermanent things. And the three characteristics forms the basis for deeper Buddhist practices and insights. So the three characteristics are fundamental concepts in Buddhist thought, and it is being used to describe the nature of all conditioned phenomena. So when we understand anicca or impermanence, that everything is constantly changing and nothing lasts forever. And as you know, when you cling on to something that changes, you do not want them to change, it creates a lot of suffering. Changes occur at a physical level or for physical objects. Changes occurs at a thought level, feelings, emotions, and all experiences. For instance, when you have a flower blooming, it will stay beautiful for a while, but later on it will wither and it die away. So this process of change is happening to everything all the time. So this is one of the characteristics that we need to understand for us to be able to get our perspective right about the world. The second is dukkha, or unsatisfactoriness, sometimes translated as suffering. Because everything is impermanent, nothing can provide lasting satisfaction. So when you try to get happiness and full satisfaction on something that is changeable, you'll find that eventually it will lead to maybe disappointment, and so you won't be completely happy, right? So it creates dukkha. This, by dukkha, it doesn't mean that everything is painful, but rather all experiences are ultimately unsatisfactory or incomplete. For instance, when you want something like a new handphone, of course you'll be happy when you first get it. But after that, the joy doesn't last forever. And you worry about damaging it, or even after a while, you might want a new model. Because when you look at the advertisements, the new model seems to have some new features. Then the handphone that you're having right now does not seem to bring you that kind of happiness. And then therefore you want to buy a new handphone for yourself. Now the first two characteristics have actually been covered earlier when I was mentioning on impermanence and suffering, as taught by Ajahn Brahm. Today I will proceed on to the third basic facts of existence, or anatta. It is also known as non-self or non-ego. Now, by anatta, it means that we must understand that nothing is permanent. And in the Buddhist conception, we don't have an unchanging self or soul. We are made up of an ever-changing physical and mental processes. And there's nothing that is fixed that you can call self. This is really important, because when we get puffed up with the sense of ego, it creates a whole host of issues for ourselves. When we look at anatta, the understanding of anatta, it touches a very big issue of who are you, or are you there at all? And you know what is the major cause of suffering? It is our sense of ego. The more solid the sense of self or ego we have, the bigger our ego becomes, and we have got more problems in our life. So a person with a big ego creates lots of problems in this world. When the ego is big, the pride is equally big. So a proud person will not be prepared to admit mistakes that he has made. Proud people will never think that they have made a mistake at all. Or when they realize they have made a mistake, they try to hide it under the carpet. and they try to pretend that nobody else is noticing, or they try to influence others that they are the ones who are making the mistake, not them. Now, there are many wonderful stories by a Sufi master by the name of Mullah Nasruddin. He's very good stories coming from him, yeah, very insightful stories. And in fact, some of the stories are really equivalent to, for the Buddhists, we have the Zen stories, full of wit and humor. So in the Sufi tradition, they have an equivalent of the Mullah Nasruddin. Now, Mullah Nasruddin lived in Anatolia. Anatolia, if you need to know, is today's Turkey, and he lived in the second half of the 13th century. And the stories about him have been told for centuries. So I'm sure you'll enjoy this story. This is about Nasruddin. One day after a meditation retreat, he went with his disciples to a fair. And in one of the booths in the fair, you can actually get a prize if you are able to shoot an arrow that hits the target. So it's like a kind of a game in which you have to shoot an arrow, and if you manage to hit the target, then you win a prize. So Mullah Nasruddin went straight to the booth and said, I would like to shoot the arrow. And the disciples ask him, are you sure? Have you ever fired a bow and an arrow in your life before? And he says, no. So his disciples discouraged him. He said, oh, please don't do it, Mullah. You're a religious teacher. You make a fool of yourself. Everyone will laugh at us. And he says, I don't care. So he bought 3 arrows. And he took the first arrow, lined up the first arrow to the target, and shot the first arrow. And what happened to the arrow? Arrow only went halfway to the target before it fell to the ground. So it was hopeless, right? So the disciples are getting embarrassed because people saw their religious leader starting to make a fool of himself. But for Nasruddin, he just turned around and said, well, that was a shot of a hasty man. Then he took the second arrow to the bow, and this time he took more time. He lined up the arrow with the target and shot. And this time around, the arrow traveled the distance of the target. But in terms of direction, it completely went out of direction. It went to the left, almost hitting a spectator. So people started to giggle. But Nasruddin said, no, that was a shot of a proud man. And his disciple says, oh, Mullah, please leave now. You're just making a fool of yourself. And he said, no, I've just got one more arrow left. And this time around, he lined up the arrow and shot. And to everyone's surprise, it went straight to the middle of the bull's eye. So he won his prize. And he silenced all his critics. Now the disciples asked him, Mullah, the first shot was a shot of a hasty man. The second shot was a shot of a proud man. What was the third shot? And Nasruddin said, oh, that was me. So that could have been a fluke shot, but he certainly had a good explanation for it. He got it right just by being himself, without a puffed up ego, without trying to be proud, without trying to be hasty. It just was being himself, and he managed to hit the arrow in the bull's eye. Now let us ask the question, why are people so proud? It is because they are attached to the idea of who they are. Now sometimes if you're a teacher, it is easy to get attached to the idea that you are a teacher. Sometimes even a teacher gets it wrong. Even a teacher makes mistake. And when a mistake is made, it is better to admit it. And Ajahn actually included a story in his book, Opening the Door of Your Heart, connected with this story. Now, Ajahn says that all the things in the monastery comes as donations from people. People give $1 here, $1 there. Eventually, that's how the monastery runs. And in fact, the monastery at Turpentine, which is some distance away, really from the city of Perth, it's about over an hour drive. when the monastery at Serpentine in Western Australia first started, it was really quite poor. So when Ajahn Brahm became an abbot, he was very insistent that the monks do not waste anything. He said that the donors aren't rich people, some ordinary people who are sometimes out of work would still bring food to feed the monks. So you must regard that every gift is precious. So one day when Ajahn Brahm was walking on the monastery ground, he saw that there was a hammer left out in the rain, and the hammer was getting rusty. It must have been left out for about a week by some careless monk. So Ajahn called a meeting of the monks to give them a piece of his mind. Well, we think that Ajahn is full of humor, very compassionate and all that. That day he was fierce, and he gave a sermon on how we have to look after the gifts that people gave you. He says, you never bought the hammer. It was a gift by kind people. If they saw that the hammer was left out there rusty, what would they think? You are spoiling their faith. They would think that what is the purpose of giving things to monks who are so careless? They don't even bother to put the tools away after they have used it. And so this is not on. This is bad karma, and you should not do these things. So, wow, it was a sermon. You call it a fire and brimstone, very fiery sermon. And all the monks were sitting right out straight, and you know that they really take their message seriously. So Ajahn says that after the fierce sermon, he found that it was disappointing that none of the monks came up to him to admit that he had done it. Wow, he was disappointed because he says monks under his training should say that they were sorry if they had made a mistake. He could have forgiven them. So he was not happy when he walked out of the hall. And as he stepped out of the hall, suddenly he had an insight. Why none of the monks confessed? He remembered who had left that hammer out. It was him, Ajahn Brahm. He's forgotten all about it until after scolding the monks. So this is one of the most embarrassing times of his life as a monk. If he has remembered this first, it would have been less embarrassing. So what did he do? He turned around and went back to the Dhamma hall and said, sit down everyone. I found out who left the hammer out. And he told them it was him. So this was a lesson to all of us. How embarrassing that was for Ajahn to admit that he was the one who left the hammer after giving a fierce sermon moralizing on the carelessness of the monk who had let the hammer out. So even Ajahn can admit his mistakes. How about us when we have made a mistake? Are we too proud to say, I'm sorry for what I have done? Ajahn says that as his penance, he has included the story in his book, Opening the Door of Your Heart, and has used this story very often in his talks. So that is his penance, self-admission. The point is that we all make mistakes, and it is the ego that stops us from admitting that we are at fault. And it is the ego that stops us from asking for forgiveness. So the ego stops us from solving the problem with the simple words, I am sorry. It's the ego is blocking this, doesn't want us to say, I am sorry. Now, in our practice of metta, metta means that we need to be humble without a puffed up ego. And we can be easily corrected if we have made a mistake. In fact, there's some qualities that is mentioned in the Karana Metta Sutta, the discourse on loving kindness by the Buddha. By saying I'm sorry shows our humility, regardless of how important we think we are, and it will also soften the heart of the other party, who is more ready to forgive us for our mistakes. All right, so that is the message that I have for today. And now let us proceed on to our metta practice. And I have mentioned that sometimes when you go to different teachers, you will have them introducing different techniques of metta. But even if the techniques are different, it still revolves around the same thing, on how we like to create universal friendliness to all, radiating thoughts of love and kindness to all beings. When we start off, it is easy for us to send loving kindness to those who are very close to us, to whom we are closely connected to. But as we move out of this circle, as we move down to people who are less connected to us, people who are neutral to us, and even more difficult, people who seems to give us a lot of trouble. So our metta seems to fizzle out. And so it's very strong amongst the people close to us, but as it starts moving to people in the outer circle, it gets less and less and even eventually disappear. So the practice of loving kindness meditation to build up the metta, so that eventually the power of metta will be radiated to all beings without distinction, without saying that, oh, these are the beings that I love and therefore I send more metta. These are the beings that are not connected to me, so I don't care. It's not going to be like that. It is developing the metta that's radiated to all, because you realize that all beings want the same happiness, wants the same thing. Yeah. So, but in the process of developing this loving kindness, we start off with those who are close to us, because it's easiest for us to bring up this feeling of metta. But eventually we grow it into a force that we can actually radiate loving kindness to all beings in all directions without any hindrance. Some of the qualities that we need to have in practicing metta is that we need to free ourselves from all forms of hostility, like negative emotions like anger, enmity, hatred, grudges. So for instance, we are sitting down for loving kindness meditation and you are carrying in your mind the argument that you had in the office, or the resentment that you have for a colleague or for a boss who gives you some instruction that doesn't seem to be reasonable. So with that kind of angry heart, it's not easy for you to sink into metta. So we ask that if you want to do metta meditation, just free yourself from these forms of negative emotions like anger. The second thing is that you have to set your mind free from worries, from anxiety, from fear. You need to let go as if they are a baggage. It's because you need your mind and heart to be free for you to be able to practice metta in an unhindered manner. Okay? And for our metta practice, we make use of 4 wishes, but you don't have to make use of 4 wishes. You can reduce it to 3, 2, or even 1. Okay? So if you're just starting metta meditation, saying 4 wishes may be too many for you. But unless you have been practicing this metta for a while, then making these 4 wishes will not be a problem. In fact, it provides us some variation in our wishes. So the first wish we use will be, may my heart be peaceful and free. And that is making a wish that we have a sense of being free from hostility, from anger, from aversion, from negative mental states. May my heart be peaceful and free. Second is, may my mind be happy. You make a wish of having a contented, peaceful mind, happy mind, free from worries, free from anxieties. The third wish is for the body. Really good health is so important and much valued. And you only realize how important good health is when you lose it. So all of us want to have a healthy body, because that enables us to live our life without trouble, and then we can pursue our interests, and so the body, it becomes, enables us to do what we like to do. So the body must be healthy, to not give us trouble. So third wish is, may my body be healthy. And then the fourth wish is more like a summary wish. So if you just want to reduce just to one wish, which is quite very useful, that you want to use sometimes, the wish is, may I be well and happy. Okay? To be well, you can talk about physical wellness, wellness of your emotions, happiness of your mind. May I be well and happy. So Sometimes like when you're just walking or you're driving or when you're just falling asleep, you can just make this wish: may I be well, may I be happy. Or if you're just amongst people, you might just make a wish: may you all be well, may you be happy. So that's easy. So you don't have to go through all the 4 wishes, right? So first wish, may my heart be peaceful and free. Second wish, may my mind be happy. Third wish, may my body be healthy. And fourth wish, may I be well and happy. Okay, so that is by way of instructions. This meditation is going to be led. So I'm going to bring you stage by stage and we practice together. And we will end at 10 o'clock. So it's just a 1-hour session. The very first thing that we like to do is for you to connect with your breath. The breath is with you all the time. If you're alive, you will breathe. You don't have to pay anything for your breath. It just occurs. You don't have to pay a license for your breath. So it's free of charge. But what you need to do is the breath becomes a very useful way of anchoring our mindfulness. Because a wandering mind becomes a worried mind, an unhappy mind, when your mind wanders all over the place. Even in order when you're faced with even crisis situation, it's good to go back to your breath again, because that helps to compose your mind. And when your mind becomes more composed, you can actually decide in a much better way. When you're really anxious, filled with so much anxiety and all nervousness because of you need to do something important like giving a public speech, public speaking frightens many people, you can just go back to the breath again. When you happen to get into some kind of an argument with people putting all kinds of allegations or accuse you of certain things, instead of responding in anger, you can go back to your breath, and that will also help your mind to cool down and make the mind clear and focused. Okay, so it is a good technique to learn how to use your breath in order to control your mind. So we do that by watching the breath, and then the next thing that we do is learning how to make your smile, generate the inner smile that you put in different parts of the body. When you can feel sensations in your body, the body is a body, but the body also creates sensation, and that sensation is created to your mind, linked to your mind. So just by anchoring your mind to your body, to different parts of your body, that is another way to make sure that your mindfulness is anchored. So we're using the body in order to bring the mind to make the mind more focused, and then we return back to the breath for a short while before going to the metta wishes. So if you're ready right now, I will just ring the bell, and then we can get started with our metta meditation. Sit in a comfortable position with your back straight. And now gently turn your mind to your breath. Your breath occurs all the time. It becomes like a friend for you to anchor your mindfulness. Take a few deep breaths, and as you do, you find that your mind becoming much calmer. At this moment right now, there is really nothing that you require. You become contented, and you just dedicate yourself to the practice of loving kindness meditation. And now from within, generate a smile, a warm, relaxed smile. Because a smile is connected with peace, with happiness, with friendliness, and with relaxation. Now just be aware of the crown You might be able to feel your scalp. Can you feel some sensations there? Top of your head. Now put a smile on your crown. Your crown is smiling. And now be aware of your forehead. Can you feel some sensations in your forehead? Put a smile on your forehead. Now just be aware of the spot between your eyebrows. Put a smile there. And now your eyes. Putting a smile to your eyes. Be aware of your cheeks. Putting a smile on your cheeks. And now just be aware of your throat, your neck. At the base of your neck will be your thyroid gland. Smile at your thyroid gland. And let your smile now move down to your heart. Open up your heart. Putting a smile in your heart. Is your heart smiling now? And now your lungs, put a smile to your lungs. And moving down, just below the rib breastbone will be your solar plexus. Now you need to watch out on your solar plexus because this is the nerve center that responds to negative emotions. So when you feel frustrated, angry, jealous, worried, fearful, this is the part that will get really tensed up. So just touch your solar plexus and smile, putting a smile, relaxing your solar plexus, bringing good, positive energy to your solar plexus so that it is filled now with good emotions. Is your solar plexus smiling? And now let us touch the organs in our mid-body with smiles. First, on the right side will be your liver, very important organ actually. Can you identify on the right side of your body, just below the ribs, is your liver? Put a smile on your liver, wishing the liver to be healthy. A healthy liver is essential for good health. And now moving to the back, on both sides of your spinal cord will be your kidneys. It's part of your filter system. Put a smile on your kidneys. Make your kidneys relax and happy with these smiles. And on your left side will be your spleen. Put a smile on your spleen. Now beneath the spleen will be the pancreas. Putting a smile to the pancreas. The pancreas is just resting on the stomach. Now a smile for your stomach and intestines. This is your digestive system. Really important for your happiness and good health. Have good wishes for your stomach and intestines. Big smile. And your urinary system, your bladder, and for the males, your prostate gland, and the females, the ovaries and uterus. So smiles for your body, smiles to bring in good health and happiness to the cells of the body. Now let us return back to the breath again, connecting ourselves to the breath. And as you breathe in and out, you can count from 1 to 10. The counting is just to make sure that you are keeping track on your mind, because ever so often the mind will wander. So when you count, you know if you're still with the breath or your mind has already wandered. If the mind has wandered, don't worry, just bring it back to the breath. It's not really that important for you to be able to always remain with the counting. Counting is just to help you, to guide you, right? It's like a prop. After counting from 1 to 10, then you return back to number 1 and continue. Okay, so now let's watch the breath, and you like to count. In and out becomes 1, in and out becomes 2, and so on. And now let us breathe in another way. As you breathe in, try to experience the full body of your breath. And as you breathe in, you calm yourself. And you breathe out, you smile in your heart and relax. And now we start making wishes of metta to groups of people. Amongst the easiest would be people who have done so many good things for us that has made us into what we are right now. And it is with a sense of gratitude that we make the wishes of love and kindness. The first group of people will include people like our parents, our grandparents, our mentors, your teachers. You know the importance of our parents in bringing us up, and mentors in order to support us, teachers helping us with our learning and knowledge. The freedom that we experience right now is because of the knowledge that we have. We are able to read and write, and we have lots of knowledge, really. A lot of that really comes from our teachers. We learn from them. And especially your Dharma teachers that inspire you. So you bring the people to your mind, and then you make wishes of love and kindness to them. For instance, if you're sending loving kindness to your mother, you imagine that your mother is in front of you. She's seated about 3 feet away. She's in a good mood, and you, out of gratitude, you say to her, "Mother, may your heart be peaceful and free. May your mind be happy. May your body be healthy. May you be well and happy." Some sincere wishes of happiness for your mother and your father. And if you have grandparents who had looked after you, you might really want to send loving kindness to wherever they are. And your teachers, some of them are still around, some of them might not be here. So if they are for the people who are not here, who are no longer here on this earth, then you think about the gratitude you have and just wishing them that wherever they are, may they be happy. All right, so let us send our thoughts of love and kindness to this first group of people. We say, may your heart be peaceful and free. May your mind be happy. May your body be healthy. May you be well and happy. Oh, I have actually realized that we should be sending loving kindness to ourselves first, so I'm really sorry. I've jumped ahead of myself. So let us send loving kindness to yourself first, because we should be the recipient of loving kindness. Don't forget yourself. When we say sending loving kindness to all beings, send loving kindness for ourselves, and then we move on to the first group of people. All right? Okay, now just making wishes for yourself. May my heart be peaceful and free. Are you feeling relaxed and happy now? Making the wish of peace. May my heart be peaceful and free. May my mind be happy. May my mind be happy. May my body be healthy. May I be well and happy. May my heart be peaceful and free. May my mind be happy. May my body be healthy. May I be well and happy. As you send wishes of loving kindness to yourself, you find yourself getting more relaxed and more peaceful. You try to listen to these wishes from inside and generate the loving kindness from your heart. Now let us send our thoughts of loving kindness to the first group of people, our benefactors, your parents, your teachers, your mentors. And now let us send loving kindness to our immediate family members. You can send loving kindness to your spouse, to your children, to your grandchildren. And if you don't have an immediate family of your own, then you can send to your siblings, brothers and sisters, nephews and nieces. You can send loving kindness to them as a group or one by one, and just bring them to your mind's eye as you make a wish. May your heart be peaceful and free. May your mind be happy. May your body be healthy. May you be well and happy. All right, so let's now send our thoughts of loving kindness to our immediate family members. Let us send our thoughts of loving kindness to all beings around the world. Just imagine that the beings around the world are gathered around us and have assumed a human form. So sending our loving kindness to all the beings in the far direction. May your heart be peaceful and free. May your mind be happy. May your body be healthy. May you be well and happy. Beings in the rightward direction. May your heart be peaceful and free. May your mind be happy. May your body be healthy. May you be well and happy. Beings in the backward direction. Beings on the leftward direction. Beings in the downward direction. Beings in the upward direction. Now, invoking on the blessings of the Triple Gem. Bhavatu Sabba Mangalang, Rakantu Sabba Devata, Sabba Buddhana Bhavena, Sadasuti Bhavantu Te. Bhavatu Sabba Mangalang, Rakantu Sabba Devata, Sabba Dhammanu Bhavena, Sadasuti Bhavantu Te. Bhavatu Sabba Mangalang, Rakantu Sabba Devata, Sabba Sangha Bhavena Sadasoti Bhavantu Te. Let us share merits, observing the peace and quietness inside you. Let us send out wholesome thoughts and sharing our merits with the Devas, the guardian deities and protectors. May they rejoice in these merits and continue to guide and protect us and our loved ones. May they give blessings to the donors, supporters, members, EXCO members of BGF. Eta vatacha nammehi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva sabbe satta sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya. Let us now transfer merits with this positive energy that we have created. We like to share these merits with our departed relatives and friends. If these merits can bring them relief and happiness, please, we invite them to use these merits for their well-being and happiness. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Let's make a closing aspiration. by the grace of these merits that we have accumulated, may we not follow the way of the foolish. May we be blessed with wise friends and skillful teachers. May we remain on the path of Dhamma wherever we are, and may we one day achieve the highest place of Nibbana. Emena punya kammena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana patiya.